So the discovery call is over and it's time to sit down and create a proposal. You grab your notes from the call and pull up a Google Doc. Or maybe you even have one of those little fancy templates with a cover sheet. That's awesome. I'm totally in favor of that. Everything's ready. So why does it feel so intimidating creating that first big proposal? Mama, I get it. The proposal is that important last step many clients need before they'll sign on the dotted line, especially when you're talking about a proposal worth multiple 5 or even 6 figures. No pressure, right? You want to include the best information so that they'll understand the value that you're bringing to the table, but you don't want to bore them with too much information or go too in depth about your proprietary processes and give away the farm. Then you start obsessing over how it should look. Does it make a difference if it's professionally designed or not? Will prospective clients take it seriously if it doesn't look like a corporate proposal? Should you use one of those software programs like Honeybook or Dubsado? Bottom line is, you just want to know what the secret sauce is behind getting high-ticket proposals accepted. Hi, I'm Christa Nichols, and I'm a high-ticket sales copywriter for multi-million-dollar entrepreneurs and business owners, including household names you know and love. I recently closed a launch copy project for almost $60,000 in project deliverables. Want to know exactly what I put in it? Let's talk about how to create killer copywriting proposals so you can land proposals for 5 figures and beyond. When it comes to creating proposals for high-ticket clients, especially if it's a client you've never worked with before and you really, really want to, it's easy to start obsessing over the proposal. But you don't have to stress. In this video, I'm going to give you all my best tips on creating high-ticket copywriting proposals so you can create one quickly without agonizing over what goes inside it. I'm also going to share exactly what needs to be included to make it super easy to get the yes. This YouTube channel is full of actionable and proven hacks, tips, and strategies for freelance copywriting mamas just like you. Make sure you subscribe and smash that button so you get notified when my videos get live. In this video, I'm going to give you my 8-step process to creating high-ticket proposals that knock the socks off prospective clients. But if you want even more help going from prospecting to profits inside your freelance copywriting biz, you're definitely going to want to check out the Wordy Mama Biz Igniter program. Inside, you'll find everything you need from trainings to forms to templates to seamlessly run a 6-figure copywriting business from anywhere, including beautifully designed proposal templates that will save you time and energy. Click the link in the video description below to check it out. Are you ready? Let's go. If you've never created a proposal in the multi-5 figures or beyond, you probably have a lot of questions. I know I did when I first created one. How do you create a proposal like that? Isn't it intimidating dealing with that kind of money? How do you know what you should charge? And what do I even put in there that makes prospective clients want to say yes? Let's dive into my 8-step high-ticket proposal creation framework. Step number 1, review your notes from the discovery call. In my last video, I gave you my entire process for running discovery calls that set you up for success and help you get the information you need to create amazing proposals. If you haven't seen that video or you want a refresher, check out the video description below and click on the link for the Watch Now video. One of the main steps in the discovery call process is to make sure you're taking notes during the call. Go ahead and grab those notes now and give them a once-over. If you recorded the call instead of taking notes, now's the time to upload that recording into a transcription service like otter.ai or rev.com so you can have it in front of you when you sit down to create the proposal. You want to be creating the proposal based on exactly what they said they wanted. I make it super easy on myself by just opening up an Asana task for each discovery call and listing out the deliverables they say they want while we're on the call. That way nothing falls through the cracks if I can't sit down and create the proposal immediately after hanging up. Then I copy and paste the list of deliverables they said they wanted directly into my proposal template, which is just a simple Canva document. After I have that basic list, I jot down a short description about what each one is and what it will do for the client. For example, I might have a line item that says sales page copy. Then under that, I write what the sales page is for and who it will be targeting. I'm not writing a book or even a paragraph. It's more like a short one-liner. But adding that little description for each line item really helps the prospective client understand that you're tracking with what they want and who they serve. Now that you have the initial list of all the things they said they wanted, step 2 is to look at it all from a 30,000-foot view. What I mean by this is look at everything they said they want through the lens of their end goal. What you're going to be looking for are gaps and holes that additional pieces of sales copy can fill. Draw on your experience of things you've seen work with other clients or in the industry in general that you can offer to the prospective client as an add-on service. Are they following up with retargeting ads? Do they have a remarketing email sequence? Are they in need of some hooks for their organic social media? Just think about some extra things that you can put in the proposal that will help them get to their goals faster. These pieces of copy can be added after the deliverables they requested. Again, give a short description that describes how this will help them get better results faster. It's 100% up to the client whether or not they want to go with any of these add-ons, but I always recommend pricing them out separately so it's easy for them to pick and choose the ones they want. Sometimes the clients don't know what they don't know, and including add-ons in your proposal not only gives them more chances to pay you, which is great for you, but it shows them that you have a ton of value to offer in terms of strategic thinking and planning. And even if they don't want to go with any additional services right now, they know you're there for them if they change their minds later. Moving on to step 3, by now you might be looking at a project that has quite a lot of deliverables. It could be a hefty list of things, and that can get kind of mind-numbing for the client to go through. It can be kind of overwhelming for you too. That's why for 5-figure and more proposals, my third step is to break down the proposal into phases. Phases make a proposal easier to follow for the prospect as they read through it. I recommend phasing out the proposal by the strategic objective. For example, for a recent proposal that included $60,000 in deliverables, I organized it into 3 phases: the copy they needed for the pre-launch period, the copy they needed for the traffic and lead gen period, and the copy they needed for the sales and remarketing period. Doing this really helped streamline everything so the client could see exactly what was going to be done in each phase and get a manageable view of what we were going to accomplish every step of the way. Breaking your proposal into phases also allows you to create clear benchmarks for payment. I always list my payment terms on the proposal, and for a multi-5-figure proposal like that, I like to break it down into 2 or 3 payments for the client. Whatever number of phases the proposal includes is the number of payments they'll need to make, separated by increments of 30 days. Now, you could have them pay the entire amount before the project starts, and that's totally fine. But for clients of this size, I don't find that totally necessary. But I do like to get a sizable deposit when we get started. I find this helps everyone be motivated to get me the information I need so that we can all take action quickly to get the ball rolling. But what if you have a project that doesn't necessarily have a long list of deliverables, but will still command a high ticket price tag? This can happen if there's a full messaging intensive or a webinar involved. For this type of project, instead of phases, I recommend you skip step 3 and go straight here to step number 4 and create a 3-tier proposal. There's something magical about the 3-tier proposal, and here's how I set it up. Tier 1 is the bare bones basic deliverables they said they wanted. Tier 2 is a mid-level package that includes everything they said they wanted, plus some really key add-ons you know will move the needle for them. And Tier 3 is the high-level everything and the kitchen sink package. Give each package a name. Names really helps the packages take on their own identities. It makes it easy for the clients to point, hey, I want that one. So you've got your 3 tiers and you've got some really catchy names, but what's the big deal? Why is the 3-tier proposal even a thing? Well, the secret behind why this proposal type works is price anchoring. The main package you want them to take is Tier 2. By sandwiching that mid-level package between the basic and the super white glove package, you're making that mid-level offer seem like the bargain of the century. That's because they're going to take a look at Tier 3 and be like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, I want all of that, but holy crap, it's a lot of money. They'll look at the basic package and it will seem super sad and uninspired. Suddenly, Tier 2 looks perfect. If this was a 3 bears, Tier 2 would be just right. Now, sometimes you'll have clients that'll surprise you and go with Tier 3. Awesome, totally not turning that down. But you'll be amazed at how many more times you have that up level to Tier 2 without you ever having to try to sell it when you position things in a 3-tier proposal. Step number 5 is priced strategically. Pricing is one of those things that, especially in the beginning, can be so nerve-wracking. I used to agonize over how I priced my packages because I felt like I didn't want to risk losing the project by charging too much, but I also didn't want to burn myself out by not charging enough and having to take on more and more projects to keep up the level of revenue I wanted my business to have. Pricing strategically can help you avoid both of those problems. So when you price strategically, you help give the client an anchor for the level of value you'll be providing for them. but you're delivering that value in a strategic way. And here's what I mean by strategic. People love to save, and they love to know that they're getting something valuable for less than what it regularly costs. So if your proposal has a good number of emails, like 10 or more, you could give a bulk discount for that deliverable. Here's how you insert that into your proposal. First, list the actual price for that email sequence. Second, create a line item below that deliverable that clearly states bulk rate for 10 plus emails minus 20%. It doesn't have to be 20%. I'm just using that as an example. You want it to be enough that the client values the discount, but not so much that you're cutting into your work. This comes in particularly handy when the deliverables they requested don't quite get them up to that discounted strategic rate, but if they add any of the add-ons you suggest, they'll qualify. So let's say initially they requested an email opt-in sequence for 5 emails. When they see they could actually save 20% on all their emails if they add that sales remarketing sequence you recommended, it can help push them towards up-leveling the amount of services they want because they feel like they're actually saving money by getting more. That's what I mean by pricing strategically. Think about ways that you can build in bulk savings, throw in an extra set of ad copy if they go with some video scripts, stuff like that. Throwing in a few more emails isn't really that much work for you, but it's huge in terms of value for the client and can really make a difference for their campaigns. Pricing strategically can help them go for services that will boost their bottom line. Now that you've got the deliverables and the prices all listed out, you'll want to move on to step 6, including a time frame for your deliverables. At this stage, you're not going to be able to hit it right on the nose as far as an exact date, but you do want the prospective client to understand in general about how long they can expect it to take. This is to protect you and your time. Some of your time frame will also depend on how quickly they can get you the information you need. Not everything will be under your control. So here's how I like to frame the "how long is this going to take" section of my proposals. Work begins as soon as your initial deposit is paid. Once my team and I have received the information we'll need in order to get started, you can expect that this project will take around 45 days to completion. Simple, right? You're not giving an actual date that's set in stone. You're providing them with a ballpark, reasonable time frame while simultaneously reminding them that some of it depends on how well they work with you to get you the information and research you need. Step number 7 is an important one. Have you ever sent out a proposal and not heard anything back for months and months, and then had them pop up out of the blue and expect they can pick up exactly where they left off with the same quote? Meanwhile, your rates have increased because your results have increased. Now what? Listen, you don't want to get stuck in that spot, and that's why step number 7 is so important. Include a proposal expiration date. Sometimes clients will gather up proposals and then they'll just sit on them for a while. That's totally their prerogative. But things change in your workflow, in your workload, and in your life. You don't want to be tied to a proposal that you wrote 6 months ago. Protect your time and your future revenue by placing a one-line disclaimer in your proposal that states, "This proposal is good for 30 days from receipt." If a prospect comes to you months and months after the initial proposal and your rates have changed, then you're not tied to the rate that you quoted hours and days and forever ago. When a proposal expiration clause, you can simply say, "Great, I remember putting this together for you and I'm super excited to get started again. But because the 30-day expiration has expired, I'll need to restructure it for you based on my current rates, and I'll get that over to you within 48 hours. Of course, you can choose to honor that rate, but you don't have to. If you do, I use that as an opportunity to provide an additional motivation for them to take action now. You could say something like, "Great, I can't wait to start working together. Normally, my proposals have a 30-day expiration date, and I would need to restructure it for you to reflect my current rates. But I'm going to go ahead and waive that right now today since this is our first time working together, so you can get started at your initial proposal's rate." They've got the scope, they've got the price, they've got the time frame. There's only one thing left to do, and that's send the thing. So step number 8, create the proposal email. There's a couple important things you're going to want to include in this email that will make it very easy for the client to say yes. Number 1, give them clear instructions on what to do with the proposal. You want to have some time for them to go through the proposal, but you also want them to know that you're going to be checking back in with them. So you could say something like, "Your proposal is attached to this message. Feel free to go through it and reply to this message if you have any questions. I'll be checking back with you over the next 48 hours to see how you'd like to proceed and let you know how we can get started creating amazing results together. This type of response lets them know you're going to circle back for their answer. Number 2, let them know how they can start now. If they're super excited and ready to go, make it easy for them by providing a way for them to pay their initial deposit. This won't work for a 3-tier proposal, of course, since they'd have to let you know which tier they want. But when the proposal that you send them has one main total, like a phased proposal, you can actually pre-create their initial deposit invoice and include a payment page URL in the proposal. I use Stripe to create my invoices, so I choose the option to not automatically send the invoice as an email. Instead, I have Stripe create the payment page URL, then I copy and paste it into the proposal and make it a clickable link. In the proposal delivery email, I just mentioned that if everything looks great and they're ready to start now, just click the link on page 4 of their proposal to pay the initial deposit, and I'll be in contact with them about onboarding. Including a link to the payment page in your proposal can cut down on a lot. It can cut down on a lot of the back and forth, and that benefits everyone. And that is my complete 8-step process for creating high-ticket proposals that get the yes. Does it take some work? Yeah, it takes some time to put this kind of proposal together, but when we're talking about multi-5-figure or more proposals, it's worth the time and effort. This type of structure lets the client know how much you care and how invested you are in helping them get the stuff they need in order to get the results that will move the needle for their business. So what do you think? Are you ready to start up-leveling your proposal game? Give me a thumbs up if this video was helpful and drop a comment below and let me know what your proposal must-haves are. If you missed my video last week, I shared expert tips on how to run a discovery sales call so you can write killer proposals and get the yes. Check out the link in the video description below. And make sure to subscribe and follow this channel for more tips, strategies, and resources for freelance copywriting mamas.